Right, the first thing I'm going to do is just make a moodling background ready. So I'm going to take the big stamp, and I adore this stamp because to me it's one of my best backgrounds. And I remember just sitting there drawing it, and I just thought, oh, this is great for a background. So paper's cut to fit, or watercolour paper in your pack, and you just see if that's big enough. I've left a bit of room around it, and I'm going to use a Versamark, and I'm going to use some clear powder because I want to create some a moodling background. So first thing I'm going to do is stamp this out and emboss it. Right, you don't have to use a stamp platform, but I quite like to use it because my fingers are a bit bad at the moment and I can get proper leverage. So all I'm going to do is ink this. Oh, look at the colour of that. Never mind. And I'm just going to go all over it. Bear in mind, sorry about the noise. If we do that. I'm going to create background first, so I need to let this dry. Now you can force dry it, that's fine, not a problem, but I prefer to do a bit of both if I can. So I force dry and then let it dry. So I'm just really giving that a good press. Because I'm sat down, I can't get, stand up and give it some welly, but the nice thing is it doesn't really matter because and because I've got a dirty ink pad, that's my excuse. I'm going to use one of my papers and I'm just going to give it a sprinkle. So I've got one of my, because I've got dirty ink pad, I can see where I've stamped. So I'm using Phil Martin's at the moment. I'm using this super fine and it's the clear because I want to create background. I don't want it to be overly sort of, it doesn't have to be wonderfully inked, it just has to be inked, right? And then the power of magic, I'm going to emboss it. Just finishing up the embossing. And all I'm doing with this is creating a resist. Make sure by looking to the side that you've got everything. Because I'm a bit of a one for thinking I've done it all. And then I go to work over the top. And I've missed a bit. So we've got a clear, well, if you've got a nice embossing powder that in. Right, okay. Sorry about that. Just check, by giving it the shine. Perhaps you can't see the shine, but there is one there. Yeah, there you can. And just go over if there's any grey areas, considering I've got that ink pad. Oh yeah, there. I don't want that to happen, so it dries. What is it? Cut once, measure twice. So I've got this great background. I love this. I shouldn't say it, but at the background, I just think it's all done for you. So the next thing I'm going to do is just take some of my colours. Now, I'm going to drop in some of the inks. Now, I have got the two colours I've got here, which is the blue and the orange, but I'm going to add some others as well. I'm going to go for it. And I've got these by Lou Collin. I absolutely love these. This is why when I said I want these in mine, that I was really happy when I did get them, because I was like, yes, got them in mine. And I do, let me just check the right colours. This is such boring tipping. Okay, so I'm going to go with the lights first, as always. So I'm going to go with my orange. Now, what you can do is spray the paper first, which gives it a good covering. So spray first. Not too much, because you want the sort of action to work on its own. Turn it over. Why do I turn it over? Well, once you've damped off one side of paper, to keep it still and to make it flatten back down, all you do is do the other side. So I'm just going to drop in literally little bits. And you can see, you can either leave it to do its own little thing. in the circles like that. So I'm going to go, I always go with lights first because the lights are easily covered by the dark. So now this is quite a lot of the time, this is how I do my backgrounds in my sketchbook. I tend to have like a, how can I put it, a direction. Keep your inks to one side that you've used, and then you know if you want any more, they're over there. Now I'm keeping the colours quite near each other. So what I've got is a sort of ombre or blend. There's so many different words I could use. So it's starting to look nice now. So I'm going to go with some darker reds now, because the very dark colours I only need a tiny bit of, because you run the risk very easily of overpowering everything with them. So just take your time. If you've got watercolours, they work well. But don't forget, this is a background. And I always remember Diary Evelyn saying, a background means just that, in the background. So don't be tempted to try and brush it all over yet. You can brush it later, but don't do it yet. So now I'm going to go in with the blue that comes in the kit. And this is where I'm going to hopefully get a little bit of pop. Now, as you can see, this is quite a strong colour. Right, turn it round a bit, give it a wiggle, let it go round. Now I'm wanting more orange on that, so I'm going to go right to the beginning. Now I'm just careful, can you see? They do merge really easy, but don't worry about that. That's a positive. It's certainly not a negative. And believe it or not, I'm going to use some brown. And brown's a great colour because it will just deepen some of these. Don't use too much. Deepen some of them, and it will give tonal depth. Right, okay. So we leave that as it is, and we're just going to get a paintbrush now and work the colour in. Just a paintbrush, paper towel, and all I'm going to do is use my brush to just draw some colour around. Now where I've got different colours like this, please do not mix too much. I'll tell you why, because you'll get mud. If you've got a lot of colour, lift off. Right there, it's quite strong. Take some off and let it bleed. Keep cleaning your brush, taking what you need off. Just allowing the circles to start to come alive. Let them do their own thing. All you're doing is facilitating it. So you're just like allowing the colour to sort of come alive. Now what I am going to do, take a tiny bit of colour there, just to allow that to be the main colour in case I don't want the colour down here. Like I need a bit of orange here, so I'm just going to add it in. And then, now you don't need, if you wish to cover it all, that is brilliant. If you just wish to do bits, it's up to you, it's your work. So I'm just filling these now. and you can see how strong these colours are. This is a great background, and it's such a good one when you get a black, white and silver pen in it. It just all comes alive, and you can doodle and draw in it. It is a really good. Now if you've got some strong lines that you don't like, just blend them out, because you know you might want them a bit more subtle, you might not. So I'm just running a clean brush over my circles, bringing the colours out, and I will be chopping this up, but it's just to show you how I got it. Right, and if you're happy with that, great. If you're not, or it's too strong, just give it a wipe, keep your paper towel, there we go, and keep that. So what you've got is 2 for there, and there's a piece of piece of paper that you can use for your casting or anything. And then if there's any bits that you still want to add a slight bit of colour on, this is where, because you've got a lot of the ink off now, it won't be too dominant, and if it is, you go back in again. There's your paper towel. So I'll do that again, just go back in with that, take the excess off. Okay, keep doing it. Now you keep that because there's a reason why you keep it. Okay, so we've got this here, we need to let this dry, and we need to let this dry, but before I do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some white. Now I'm using a white spray. You don't need a white spray, you can use the blue proof ink or anything, but I just want to give it a few. So I'm using the Dilutions ink spray, and I'm just going to go, she says. Now this won't stay white because the inks will colour it, but I want that. So I've got some swatches on. I don't think I want a spray yet, do I? Forgot this is a new one. What's up with that? Oh, I've not cleaned nozzle. Right, so put that on there, leave that to dry, and what we'll do is we'll come back to that in a second, but that's your background when it's all cut out and all done. So just going to go and dry it. Okay, the next thing, it's nice and dry. I've got the stamps, the little small stamps off the stamp set that comes with them, and I've picked off the little ones. So the circular ones, you can see that one, that one, that one, and you can pick any you want off. I'll show you there. They're the ones I've picked off because, and these actually do work, but I'll show you what I mean. These actually go really well on here, so I'll just put a few on. You can place them wherever you want to do your own bit of stamping and doodling. I'm going to do that. If you want to, you can actually get the big flower and do that bit. So we're going to do a little bit more stamping in that, just to explain where that went. That's drying nicely now. Really like that actually. And if you don't like it that bright, it looks quite nice that if you wet it with water, especially because this has got like a circular motif on it. So what I'm going to do now is get my little stamping block form, and I'm going to stamp all in these. You don't have to, it's just another idea for you, and it's a simple little idea. So I'm just going to get stamping. You've got choices now. You can either versify it and clear emboss in, or you can use black. And if you versify and clear emboss, you maintain the colours underneath, and I quite like that idea. So I've got a small block. I've got it's like more like a yin and yang, but it's not. And I'm just going to do, and it doesn't really matter. Just think about the way you want your, there's one. I like that up here. There we go. That's 2. So I've got a smaller one. So I'm going to get the bigger flower. And then the big flower. And this is such a labour of love, just building up these backgrounds. I can't explain how nice and relaxing it is. I really am going for a little stroll in my head. And the reason is because I'm not trying to make something out of this world. I'm trying to work with the products I've got, which is better because it's almost like you're allowing the actual stamps, colours, all to work for you rather than, and then seeing what you've got. So what we're doing really is experimenting, and it can't go wrong because there's no plan. So here we've got, oh, brilliant. And if it don't work, you can always go back over it with another colour. So just put that back in there. And when we come back, I will be doing some embossing. So I'm just going to emboss this now. And it's already still warm. I've left some to draw in, some to write in, and some to colour in. Just give it a once over. Right. Now, all I'm going to do now is you've got two options. You could go back in with your inks or back in with some other inks. Now, I've got some really nice little metallics here. So I'm going to use these. These are a German make, but I've got the Paul Rubens and everything. So I'm just going to use some colour just to bring out some of that in there. So I'll just change this out and put my watercolour, cover that, put my paper towel down, just get the colours on, and then I'm going to wake up the colours. If you've got micas or anything, use anything like that. So all I'm going to do now is I'm going to look for corresponding colours. So we've got a beautiful red wine colour. So I'm just going to test it. Oh yeah. So now what I'm going to do is just perhaps go a little bit on here. Not too much. I don't want too much. It almost looks like nothing's happening, but when it dries, so we've got that there. I've got a beautiful like blue here, a blue white. It's an interference, isn't it? So I'm going to go straight on here so that we've got an interference in this colour. So it doesn't actually change the colour underneath. We're just working with the colour underneath. We've got maybe a bit of copper. I think we'll do an interference gold on this one. Okay. And I'm just going to go and have a look. So maybe add some there. Add a little bit of gold here. Just change them up. You can use anything you want. Just let it all, just dabble. I think that's a great way of saying it, dabble. And I'm just going to re-dry this, and you'll be able to see as it dries the colours will intensify. And I'll move it a bit to let you see. Okay. So what we've got now is just move them. I don't really need a lot of them. You don't really need them if you don't want them, but you can see what a wonderful effect that's got now. So basically we've left some ready for a little bit more. Now you can do whatever you want in these, but this is Mindful Moodling, and we're going to take it for a stroll, our little mind, well, my little mind. And I'm just going to go and get a white pen, silver, gold pen, whatever you like, and we're going to go for it. So I've got a selection of pens now, different thicknesses, different makes, Signo, Secura, Pental, Derwin. I've got all sorts. So you just take a selection of whatever you prefer to use, and then we're going to do some moodling. Now moodling's all about taking your mind for a bit of a rest, because the world's so fast and furious now that we don't have time for ourselves. So moodling is a cross between mood and a doodle. So the first thing I'm going to do is just create, where I can, some simple scallops. Take your time, just draw very simple lines. Now the intense colour may change the colour of your pen, but that really does not matter. So here I've gone, and just carry on, even though you can't see it, it really doesn't matter. So just put some little dots in there. So now turn your work around. So if you've got another colour, say this one here, that could do with bright or gold or silver. Let's see what it looks like with the coppery colour. I'll bring it up to show you. These are two-tone pencil colour. I will put a little list out for people, so you can just see a little tiny bit there. And then what you can do, if you do wish, put a little dot in between. You don't have to do this. Right, let's go for the next one. So here, let's see, we've got not much in there. So we'll look at the patterns we've got, and let's go for, might change this up actually, and go for a gold, quite a thick gold, or a little gold. Oh, just let me check, right? So I'm going to go for a gold. So if it doesn't work, just run it in your hand. Sometimes it's because the paper's still damp, so beware of that. I'm going to switch it over and see if this helps. Oh yeah, that's better. So I'm just going to put in some like yin and yangy sort of shapes that look like wheels, and then pattern as I've done. So I'm making my own pattern as I did there, and I'm just going to put, so these sort of replicate what I've done here. So if I bring it up, can you see it's just very simple, very, very simple. And here I'm just going to do three dots, one, and do each one as you go, because if you don't, you'll get yourself in a right kerfuffle. And I'll show you why, because I'm doing sort of like a broderie anglais. I can never say it right. So it's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So it's a diamond shape. And then just put little lines or dashes or dots, whatever you want to call them, and bring the pattern together. Now this can be turned, to me, this can be turned into absolutely anything. I can draw and stamp on top of this. I can leave it as it is and just wait for inspiration to come and grab me. I can make a tag, but what I can do is know that I'm really happy just doing a little bit of drawing. I just love it. A little bit of me, of just being a bit mindful, taking time out to colour in. I don't care what you want to call it. You can call it what you want, as long as you take time to do it. And just colouring in these little dots will make the back. Let me get the other one. That's a bit thicker now. Just these dots here will make the elements around the work pop. So I'm not going to do them all because I think I just overdo it then. I just go too far. But as you can see now, those little black dots have really helped. And this has got a glitter in it, this pen, so get your moon, you know, your moon glow or whatever they're called. I always get confused. It's my age, I think. Your Jelly Roll, your Stardust, all those pens that we love, and get them on. And then I'm just going to do something in here. Maybe just, I always start with the 6, 12, 3 and 9 and then work out, and then it always helps me to sort of, there we go, that's better now, I can see that. And I could just see the little 3 dots, so I'm just going to put the 3 dots in there, and I'll do another one over here. So here, to make it look like lace. Oh, this is when you really enjoy creating cards, card fronts, doodles, journal pages, anything that you need to do. And by need to do, I mean create all your backgrounds and then make them, or just enjoy this for what it is. And when you're colouring in things, you don't have to do them all. Like I work in odd numbers, so let me just show you now what I've done. I've got some odd numbers in there. I've got some like little bobbly bits. I don't have really names for them, and you know, if you want to just put your own circles in. And the black, don't use too much black unless you want to. And just forget and treat the back like it's got nothing on it. So in there, I'm just going to go in with my white. You see, you can't help but get fixated by it. There's lots of Zentangles and doodles to help you. The main thing is using your conjunction. So I've got that there. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get something that goes like this, and maybe the flowers. There's the stamps. These need colouring up a little bit. I think I'll just make this into a tag. A nice little trick you can do is I've got it onto a piece of journal paper now if I wish. So you can use your journal paper or you can use it as a background. But if you take your biggest circle and if you just place it across the top, it doesn't have to be perfect. Choose the bit that you know that you think you could lose or you're not happy with, or I'm not worried about this. So just place it at the top, and then I'm going to show you with a black pen. You just sort of judge it. top, let it touch there, draw around like that, and then we can cut that out and make a nice shape out of it. So you don't have to, I just think it's a nicer shape. So like that, I think that's a better shape. And I can put a punch in. I've got quite a big hole punch here, but I'm not going to do that at the moment. I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. So the next thing is, all I'm going to do is create a tag with it. So I'm going to stick it to this and give it a little bit of a edge. Sorry, I couldn't even think of the word. So it's up to you. I could put that in there and have it as a pocket. I could do absolutely anything with it. I could stamp around this now with some of my edges because they do work round. You can stamp them round like that. You know, get them on your plate and sort of bend them round. So you could do all sorts, but I'm just going to do something, finishing it off. So I'm just going to glue this down, be right back, and I'll show you what we're going to do next. What I've done now is I've cut out a saying. So I've cut out life, live life like a rainbow, sorry. Can't really read my own writing. And then with the card that I had left, I've cut out 3 circles. I think that's an inch. I don't know. Let me just check. Yeah, it's an inch punch. Kept that bit and this bit because this is going to be this. So what I'm going to do is just with my scissors, just a very thin. You're better off doing this with your cutter if you've got one. But you don't need to. I really, don't want you to think that you've got to have all these extra tools. You don't. Because the circles, if you haven't got a punch, all you do is use the small circles and cut out of them. I'm just doing it for time. So for instance, if you to do the black dots, you've got 2 sizes, inner and outer. So you can just put that there. It's just slightly bigger than the inch. Oh, no, there's the inch. Right, there's the inside. So you can draw around that and cut that out. So there's no need for you to do it if you haven't got it. Now, I'm going to get rid of this. Oh, no, actually, I quite like that. So I'm just going to have a look on here, and it needs the black round it, but a very thin black ledge or edge, not ledge, because I think I don't want it overpowering. So the first thing I'm going to do is just move that up there, put that there, put that on there, using 2 corners. Oh, do you know, so mucky. And then a very small. Now, if like me, you have a problem with your straight lines, and you want to sort of change it up a little bit, what you can do is change this by just adding 3 little black dots there, and then you can either do it the same way there or a different direction. Just need to leave that to dry because that's ink. Oh, there she goes. Right, okay, so we've got that. Well, what are these for? Well, these could be put anywhere, and I've done this on purpose so that you can see that if you wanted to overlay, that looks a bit contrived. So you could put like bits of black on with a white pen, looks really cool. Or if I just leave this, put this there, have, a couple sort of like that, and then maybe one, arrange it where you think it'd look cool. If you want it like that. Anything like that. And I've got some ribbons. So I've got a splotty one, there's no such word. I've got a tealy one and I've got a dotty one. And we're going to just finish this off now, but it does need something. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to put, if that's dry, is it? Yeah. A little bit of glue on the back of that. I don't care where, because if I start thinking where shall I put it, I'll never finish. So I'm just putting one there, so I don't even know where it is. Oh, right, okay. And then one up there. Yeah, that'll do. So that corner. There we go. So we've got that there. I think that looks better there. It's entirely up to you, but once we get the ribbons in, it might not. But we might just want it there, might want it there, we might want it smaller. I think personally, that might be better if it's a little bit smaller. So what I might do is just, here we go, get the stencil, pull that side, get this here, get the smaller one. Which size do I want? I'll get a smaller one, not wasting that. So now you can either take this off, which I find the best way actually, and just put these on when you want to sort of put them away. Just unscrew it like that, take off the one you want, put them all back. But it is important that you put them back. So I'm just going to get that out. They come out really easily, look. So they're on. Get them all ready where you want. Put them in a little bit. You can put them anywhere, but I just found it was easier for me. So I don't like wasting paper. I'm just going to do that and then chop that. Now if you've got a punch, even better. And if you can't get a straight line, use a punch or then sand it later. I'm just going to make it a little bit smaller because I can't handle it. So, and draw on one side. That is the worst circle ever, look at that, but I don't care. So let's have a quick look. You can do them in a variety of colours, you know, if you wanted to. So, I don't like that. I don't like that. I think that's too small now. So I'm going to go back to my other one. I know. Right, okay. That one's up there. That one's there. Oh, do you faff? There we go, I like that. Why do I like that? Oh, stop it, Withers. Right, anyway, I could just put it on here and just have done with it. Oh, what does it look like on there? Right. It's a bit much, isn't it? Yeah, so first thing is, you can put these down. Look, I've smudged it already. You can put these down with anything you want, 3D pads. I'm just going to put it down here. Like that. That's glued down, not straight. Oh, you silly woman. That's better up there. Because I like threes, you see, so just me being pedantic. So, there we go. Put that there. Okay, so we've got that. Now, if you've got a whopper dial or whatever they're called, crocodile. So, let's see. Put it there. It's about right, isn't it? Yeah? So just call that out. No, I haven't. So please don't do this at home. Use your tools appropriately, she says. Right, so I decided that I wasn't going to use this because it's a little bit too thick, but I am going to save it for my other one and I'll show you why. So I've gone with the thin, very, very fine teal one, and I've done it twice through, just put it through. And this is where I get my punch, and all I'm going to do is just quickly punch a couple of these out. Don't waste anything. don't matter if it's a bit iffy either. And then all I'm going to do is just fold in half and fold in half. And if you've got a half one, you can fold that in a quarter if you want. It's entirely up to you what you want to do. So I'll show you what I've done. So that's in a quarter, that's what I had left, half and half. Now you can do this entirely up to you. I'm going to take, where's the other one? There's the other one. So I'm going to take 2, and I'm going to do it this way. Put my glue in there. Don't throw your glue around like that. It doesn't help much. And then I'm just going to go in there, wrap it round. Then while I've still got it damp, cut that bit off, just pull it a little bit, and then it's all hidden. So we've got one done, like that. Then we've got one the opposite way, so I'll do it again, but this time we'll bend it the other way. And all you do is put glue on one side. And this one's got 1, so I might do this a bit, no, but I'll do this a bit longer. And I'm bending it to the opposite side. It doesn't really matter because it'll go which side it wants anyway. Chop off the end, pull down, that's it. Nice and hidden, give it a minute. And then the last piece, sorry, let me move that out of the way, is a little quarter one. Now you've got to see, do you want it that way? Or do you want it, oh, it's entirely up to you really, but that's the only way it'll go. So it goes that way. So then, a little bit of glue. So it just measure that one and that. So if this little one goes all the way down there, or it could be all the way up here, it's entirely up to you. I'm just going to do that. Chop it while it's damp, pull it off. There we go. Oh, don't pull it out, just pull it off, silly woman. If you've got any little bits showing, all you do is put a little bit of black pen on them. So let's see what we've got now. So we've got our little tag, and we've got our little ends to our tag. Now what you can do with this, if you wish, is just, I've got a, sometimes I'm too, what's the word, too quick to work with stuff. Oh, don't wear that, don't wear it. And it's ridiculous, it's just me being impulsive. So all I'm going to do is just put little dots there. And it doesn't make it stark then. So all I'm going to do here is just and if you wish, you can go all the way around the edge if you want. You do get carried away very much, so it's easy to do. And then on here, I'm going to do, oh, it's not stuck, a bit more glue. And then on this one we'll have and then on this one we'll have like that. So now let's have a think what we've done. So I'll just run through it. So let's have a little look. So the first thing I did was I stamped using the big circle stamp, and then I decided that after that I wanted to add some colour with the ink, so I used loose inks as well as mine, dropped it all on, and don't forget we've got that beautiful extra piece as well in our tissue. So then what I did was drop the colours on, dab the colours off, get rid of the depth if you want it, and then I just went in with some a brush just to cover it up, and then at the end of it what I did was I put gold silver pens on it. Oh, and I put some iridescent paint on it just to catch the light. I don't want it too, overtly there. I just want it just catching the light. Cut some black circles out. Now you can use the circles from the stencils, right? Or you can punch your own. I use the circle at the top just to create that edge, like that. Cut it out, put it onto some black. Got some nice teal or aqua. And what I do need to do is just darken that off. Put a little bit of a pull through to make a tag button. But no Studio Live, some great ones. So then I did that extra circles, cut out the live life like a rainbow, and just went and doodled, and that was it really. Very, very simple. And I hope you enjoyed that. I loved every minute of it. A very simple little project with the mindfulness in action, so to speak. I enjoyed that. And when you're doing it to some music that you like or quiet, just take those pages, cut them up, do whatever you want. And these pages are all downloadable for you. So if you need some more of these pages, you can get them on the site. And don't forget, you've got all these stickers. So if you wanted to, you could sort of braille over these, but that's another. Oh, you could just do so much. I will be doing more on the CraftStash site, and I'll be doing it on mine as well. So if you wish to join me again, I look forward to seeing you, and I really do hope you enjoy this book. Thank you.